It was great, man. It was great. You know, not the start I wanted, but it was, the finish was fun, and being able to say thank you to the fans was, it was a beautiful moment.
Was the reception what you'd expected?
It was unbelievable. It felt great to get booed. You know what I mean? It was like, the recognition at the top of the game, and then as soon as I touched the ball and they booed, I was like, oh, I'm home. It felt great.
Did it feel a bit strange later with the Kobe chants? I mean,
honestly, if I could chant for them, I would. I don't think the fans here really understand how much they drove me. From the singing of the songs to the shaking of the bus, going back to the hotel. I mean, that stuff really stuck with me, and it drove me to like maniacal proportions. You know what I mean? So I don't think they really understand how much they meant to my career.
The Celtics fall to Kobe Bryant and the Lakers, 112-104 in Kobe Bryant's farewell game. We're going to talk about Kobe, and we're going to talk about this game. For 3, Garden Report.
Yes, I'm the boss.
Welcome to the show. I am Jared Weiss from CLNS Radio. Back and better than ever, Jimmy Toscano from Comcast Sports at New England.
Baby.
Ego's a little bit inflated right now. This guy's been covering the Patriots, covering the
all over the
number one
been
team
all
in
over
the
the
AFC.
world.
Yeah, all over the
AFC,
world if the
well,
world ends at North Attleboro.
More importantly, if they win on Sunday, they're number
That's
one
right.
team in the AFC.
That's right. You don't think Brock Osweiler's an MVP candidate right now?
They can put it. No, I don't. I can't say I do yet. Broncos gonna win a couple games.
Celtics talk.
Broncos gonna win a couple games.
Okay, so Kobe Bryant said farewell to the Boston Garden tonight. It was one of the more fascinating games I think we've ever seen in the regular season.
Ever.
To see that just like ear-piercing ovation at the beginning, then he just gets booed mercilessly for the first quarter, which was like perfect Boston fandom. Good job, guys. I'm sure everybody watching this was sitting at home booing from the couch.
Yeah.
And then he started making some pretty incredible plays. And we saw, I think we saw kind
after
of like,
a while.
Yeah, after a long while.
Yeah.
And Kobe's been kind of going around the league this year, like taking like 25 shots a game, making like 6 of them, and like 4 of them are pretty amazing plays. And tonight we got to see some great ones. He played really hard defense a lot of the time too. It was fun to see kind of flashes of vintage Kobe.
I was gonna say, you could tell that he really wanted to play here. And he said after the game, like, this is up there with Philly as the 2 most important stops on his Kobe Bryant tour. And you could see that. You could see a little extra umph in his step, a little bit, like you said, a little extra tenacity defense, and then that dagger 3 in the fourth quarter there down the stretch. I mean, that's the Kobe that we all know. Obviously not the one this year who was struggling a little bit from the field. We saw him in the first quarter. But yeah, it was good to see the way the fans came out and they gave him the applause, and then that was it. You could tell like the Lakers fans that were here, they were still trying to get the Kobe chants going later on in the game. But he really appreciated those boos that he was getting, and that was the first thing he said after the game was that like, it was unbelievable. He's like I'm home. He's like I'm finally home. Now I know like I'm in Boston. Like that's and honestly, it's probably the only arena the rest of the way that will do that he'll hear boos. And he's a guy that's like he's embraces the villain role more than maybe anybody does. So for him to hear those boos, I think that actually worked against the Celtics tonight because he kind of maybe took a step back in the time machine and was like, oh yeah, like this is what I'm used to. This is the me.
2008 right now. I can still
me.
hit a step back from 20 feet. What was really beautiful about it though was that with all those boos, in the end he waved goodbye to the fans and got like a massive ovation again. And it's just like when Derek Jeter retired. He's a guy that you battled for years and years and years, or watched your team battle for years and years and years. And in the end, you grow to, however biased you may be against the Celtics opponent, at the end, you're kidding yourself if you hate Kobe Bryant. You have to admire, respect, and even love Kobe Bryant.
That's the key word, respect. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a knowledgeable basketball fan and you're a knowledgeable Celtics fan, you know how important Kobe Bryant is to not only just the game, but to the rivalry, the Celtics-Lakers rivalry. I mean, how lucky are we that Danny Ainge made that trade for Kevin Garnett and just like that renewed that rivalry? Because before that, I mean, I was actually at the game the year before Garnett was traded to the Celtics, and there were chants for Kobe Bryant MVP, and they were filling up this arena, but it was in a season where the Celtics were one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NBA. The place was filled with Lakers fans. There was no rivalry at all. And it was just good to see, you know, that, you know, Kobe even said it, like, he was just happy that there was that rivalry. He was going to be able to live through that rivalry that he grew up watching, like, you know, I guess our parents and, you know, our older brothers grew up to see some of those things, but we didn't really get a chance to see that. So that was fun. And yeah, like, a knowledgeable Celtics fan has to respect Kobe, just like a knowledgeable Red Sox fan or baseball fan has to respect Jeter.
I can tell you, I grew up going to those finals games, and it was just an absolute show every single time Kobe was on the floor. Just the intensity and passion that he played with is pretty much, I mean, Jordan's the only other guy I can think of that kind of played at the level. And Kevin Garnett, I'll give him credit there too.
Absolutely.
But there's just something in the way that Kobe, you could see in his eyes that there was this whole war going on with him every single game. And it was just so special, and it's something that's just so incredibly rare across all sports. And that's why I love him so much. That's why he's one of my favorite players.
That's why it's gonna really suck to watch these NBA games going forward when you start to see like the Kobe Bryants are out. Kevin Garnett might be next. I mean, these are guys that, you know, they are really at another level when it comes to that competitiveness and just that heart and drive. So you really hope that some of these younger NBA guys can take whatever they can from them while they still have the chance.
I can tell you, my first ever email address was kb8jam@aol.com. I don't know why, I just remember that for the first time in like 15 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I had the Kobe shoes too, the KB8s back in like 98.
Everybody had those.
Those shoes were incredible.
Yeah, everybody had those.
Just a little bit of basketball analysis before we go to part two. Did you think that the Celtics blew it tonight when it came to like kind of Kobe late, and of course Clarkson and Russell were huge later? Was it just that they really kind of picked themselves up there, the Lakers did?
I think the Lakers hit some big shots down the stretch. I mean, I don't think the Celtics, by no means were, at this point in the game, they're not like watching Kobe starstruck or anything like that. I don't think the emotion, I don't think that was getting to them. I think the Lakers, I mean, when you really get down to it, the Lakers, they're not having a great season. They're not an extremely talented team, but they do have these young players in Russell and Clarkson, and they do have those vets like Kobe who, when you give them enough confidence, give them enough looks, and they hit enough shots, they're going to drain something. So I think that's what you saw at the end of the game there. I don't think it was a lack of effort on the Celtics' part. I just think they got beat by the better team tonight. You know, just tonight. You know, I put the Celtics and the Lakers in a 7-game series. I don't think we'll see one of those this year, but if you did, I think the Celtics would pull that one off.
Maybe 5 to 10 years from now. All right, we're gonna be back for part 2, more Kobe talk, and of course we got to talk about Evan Turner running point at the end there. He was pretty spectacular. So this is the Garden Report, powered by Grandstand on CLNS Radio and Celtics Blog.
What was going through your mind in that moment?
Man, honestly, I was thinking of using as much leg as possible. That's what I was thinking about. I couldn't think about anything else at the moment. I was thinking about using as much legs as possible because, I couldn't really feel my shoulder too much. And so I really got to get my legs under the shot, really jump forward on the shot. And then once it went down, I was like, thank God.
Is the shoulder going to be a problem going forward, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's been sore as of late, so I just got to get back on it and pay a little bit more attention to it than I have, and kind of stay on it and kind of keep it going. But I think now we got to be a little bit more aggressive, kind of get us through this, and then go from there.
With the amount of energy that was in the building tonight, how important was it you to rise to the moment in that instant to hit that shot and kind of cap your time?
It was very important. I wouldn't have heard the end of it, but it definitely felt good to be able to hit that shot, man.